We start with a piece people might already know, and we see how far we can push it. Trio HLK is Rich Harrold on piano, Aunt Laura on 8-string guitar, Rich Kass on drums.
The music is difficult to categorise, and why should we categorise it? I think that, we don't have to say it's this or it's that. It's something that's living and breathing at this moment.
We're a trio of musicians playing music which is rooted in contemporary classical music, but also has a lot of the approaches of jazz music. So it's kind of chamber music with improvisation.
The three of us are unified by a love of rhythm, but what makes the music interesting from my point of view is that we all come from very different musical backgrounds and we bring these three different influences in.
We put a lot of thought into how we can make this music as unique and defined as possible.
Most of the pieces start out as an existing tune that people might recognise, and often the process for composition comes from just analysing what's there in the original and then working with that. When we were ready to record our first album, we decided we wanted to collaborate with two musicians that we admired a huge amount. One of them was Steve Lehman, the sax player, and the other was Dame Evelyn Glennie.
I mean, this is an incredible pleasure to be collaborating with HLK, and of course the music is quite different to what I play as a solo percussionist. For this type of collaboration, we are working quite closely together. It's quite magical what really does happen in a short period of time.
Playing the music with her and hearing just how much she puts into every note, how expressive the phrases are. I love playing on smalls with Evelyn. There's an intro where we play around a specific rhythm, and she has this massive palette of textures that she brings out in the music.
One of the more peaceful moments in the concerts is a duet between Rich Harrold and Evelyn. Extrasensory Perception Part 1, where Evelyn's playing vibes and Rich is on piano. It's one of my favourite moments.
And what's so important is the teamwork when we work together. So, if something maybe needs to be experimented with, or if someone doesn't feel that's so right for the piece and so on, we're able to say that. And that's such a healthy situation to be in.
I think what makes this band unique is that Richard and Evelyn are so committed to practicing together and creating this thing together. Whilst the more traditional jazz approach is to have a relatively simple form and exploit that, what we do is we really take quite involved forms which take a long time to learn and to understand and to practice. So we played for a couple of years before we did our first concert, because we wanted to get it right. Ultimately, that when you have like-minded people, you can build something that's greater than the sum of its parts.
The three of us all share a passion for rhythm and studying rhythm, from people like Ligeti and Boulez to Indian music to some of the really progressive jazz music, all of which studies rhythm and polyrhythm in depth. That is deeply embedded in the music.
Well, we're trying to continue off from the variation form in classical music and pushing music forward like the bebop musicians did when they composed Anthropology, which is based on Gershwin's I Got Rhythm, We're composing our piece Anthropometrics based on their piece Anthropology, which is based on I Got Rhythm, reiterating forwards.
There are moments of real tension and then release. There's density and there's space and there's a really broad palette of texture and colour. I think that one of the things that really helps the audience engage with the music is that there is so much in there for them to relate to as we're walking that musical tightrope.
Very, very impressive play, really awesome. It's great to see.
Absolutely blown away by the standard of the musicianship, the trio. Evelyn Glennie, unbelievable. That's such beautiful music. I just can't put it into words.
The piece that we usually play to close the concert is called The Jig. And it started out originally as me working with the melody from the Jig of the first cello suite by J.S. Bach, G major. And I very respectfully detonated it from the inside, and it's turned into this kind of post-apocalyptic nightmare.
I think this project we've all gone into really deep, and we give it our all in terms of the performances, what we can bring to each composition and achieve the best musical moments we can.
We put a lot of thought into how we can make this music as unique and defined as possible, so hopefully you can hear that.
We pushed ourselves very hard to make this music work. It's not easy music to get together, and we think it's important to push ourselves and to keep pushing music forward.